First of all, welcome to all of you, and thank you very much for this opportunity to share with some of my practice experience and to be with all of you. And as usual, before we start the teaching, please take a moment and correct your motivation and be mindful of your thoughts during the teachings and just focus on the teachings and today teaching on the Bodhicharya Avatar, right? So we all here, so having a Buddhist Sangha or group of people who are practicing together is very fortunate. Although sometimes I think maybe you're not satisfied with my teachings, maybe you will not receive the teachings that you really want. But I think it doesn't really matter as long as whatever teachings I give are based on bodhicitta, then it is good for everybody, no matter who you are. So I feel really good, even though you want something different, teaching more, maybe you think like more profound or more higher teachings, something like dzogchen or empowerment, all that kind of things. But when you practice bodhicitta, it gives you great benefit. As usually I always say, when you after bodhicitta practice, you can see the benefits of this practice almost right away. You feel really happy and satisfied, and that's the reason why practicing bodhicitta is important. And bodhicitta is the essence of the Mahāyāna path and the root of all great wisdom and compassion. For Buddhist practitioners, like generally speaking, a Buddhist student need at least 3 qualities in order to practice the teachings, Dharma. So bodhicitta is one of these qualities, right? So you have to think what bodhicitta, what does bodhicitta mean to you? How can you cultivate bodhicitta in your daily life? As you know, the Buddha suggested everyone should practice bodhicitta because we human beings have powerful minds and great intellectual sort of ability, but at the same time, this can bring difficulties into our lives. So practicing bodhicitta and eliminating the selfish mind is the main goal of Mahāyāna and our practice. Therefore, all of teachings of Buddha are dedicated to helping us develop a kind mind, bodhicitta. And if we have a kind mind, we're actually successful with our practice. That's the purpose of practice. Bodhicitta is our inner sort of protection, and it's our inner liberation. Once the selfish mind is removed or diminished through practice in bodhicitta, then you are no longer an ordinary person. What we call that person is bodhisattva, right? It means someone who has um, positive thoughts, someone who is a great being without selfishness. So that's the first quality for Dharma practitioner, for Buddhist student. And then the second quality is, of course, wisdom. Wisdom makes your practice very clear. When you practice, you should be clear about your meditation. So with wisdom, you will not only have an intellectual understanding, but you will have some sort of personal experience from your practice. So wisdom is very important for a Buddhist practitioner. And then the third quality a practitioner needs is diligence, right? It's because developing your capacity or changing your mind really depends on your diligence. Therefore, a practitioner should not be satisfied with just doing a little bit of meditation. My teachers always say that. So without these three qualities, there is no opportunity to reach enlightenment, liberation. So therefore, this teaching is all about bodhicitta, how to generate bodhicitta, what the cause of bodhicitta, all that kind of things, right? So therefore, it's so important. Now I'm going to pick up where I left our last class, which is the 37th stanza in second chapter. Rejik sun tsin de nilago, zadang mumza tamandi, tedak ton de hibi dik muzika in the nani. It says, the 37th stanza, even within this very lifetime, while I am briefly alive, many friends and enemies have already passed, but whatever negative deeds I have committed for them means friends and enemies, they are rapid and remain ahead of me. So this stanza reminds us that throughout our short life, many people have already passed away, but the negative actions we may have committed for them, whether through attachment, or anger, or whatever, still remain with us because of karma does not disappear. And it follows us. So this stanza encourages to reflect on our actions and cultivate wisdom and bodhicitta. If you think about within this very short lifetime, how many people already pass away, including your family, your friends, and so on and so forth. When I was at the monastery in Tibet, all the lamas, all the lay people that I knew are now almost gone. All are gone. Almost. Maybe I would say I'm not sure how many, but last time I went back to Tibet and I just noticed that, you know. So according to this stanza, that's why it sort of reminds us or encourages to reflect on our actions and um, um, think about this short life. Um, and many people already passed away. So every day, like according to, I just checked in the science if they're correct, I'm not sure, but they said roughly 100,000 people die every day around the world. 8,000 to 9,000 people died each day in the United States. Think about that. You can see how important it is to practice the impermanence of life. So this second chapter, and especially all these stanzas, mm, Shantideva encourage us, you know, practice impermanence of life. So we are very fortunate. We are still alive, and we have the opportunity to improve in our spiritual practice and overcome obstacles and having a good opportunity to practice bodhicitta. So this is very, very, I think, fortunate. This is going to sound very arrogant, but I don't mean it that way. But we should recognize how important it is to have this life and how fortunate we are. So practicing the impermanence of life is crucial because it helps to dismantle attachment to things that are constantly changing, which is really the main cause of suffering. So that's why this stanza and this second chapter, Shantideva, focus on how to practice impermanence and detachment. And by understanding that nothing lasts forever, we can let go of clinging to attachment. Then we will be able to develop some inner peace, satisfaction, happiness. So practicing the impermanence of life helps relieve all this suffering. And knowing that life is impermanent can help us to have healthy relationships. For example, if I am angry at my good friend, think about impermanence and why am I holding on to this anger for someone I really care about? We are guaranteed to have a limit time together. The anger serves nothing but suffering. So why not let it go? Forgive and enjoy the good time together in the moment instead. So if you practice the impermanence of life on a deeper level, not just understanding sort of impermanence of life intellectually, but in deeper level, if you practice it, you will be able to enjoy your life. You will be free from the fear of death. Milarepa said, First, I went to the mountain because of fear of death, because he said I created negative karma, so I meditate on the impermanence of life over and over and over and again. And then he said, now I have the realization of deathlessness. So now I'm free from the fear of death. You see why Milarepa want to nothing except meditation. It's because he was terrified from his wrongdoing. He wanted really to purify his negative karma as soon as possible, because when the time of death comes, it's too late and it's unknown. Nothing in life is certain. Life could even be taken, tomorrow. So practice impermanence of life helps us, as Milarepa said, I'm free from fear from death and deathlessness. It's just really high level practice. But one time Buddha Shakyamuni also advised the Indian king. He said, when your time has come, you have to die. At that time, neither your family and friends nor your wealth, possessions can follow you. So whatever you go, karma follows you like your shadow. So that's why Shantideva said that here, whatever negative deeds we have committed for others, for friends, enemies, for ourselves, it follow us. It's like when a bird flies up in the sky, for a while we can't see its shadow. But that doesn't mean there's no shadow, right? The bird and shadow still are sort of linked. So whenever the bird approaches the ground, the shadow will appear. Likewise, when the right conditions come together, the karma will manifest. Karma is there in our body. Karma is there in our energy. Karma is there in our brain, it's there in our mind. So it's there in everything. So if we want to get rid of the negative part of karma, it's a long process that in order to purify the negative part of karma. So that's why we have to practice diligently. So when we are talking about karma, we're not talking about some sort of concept or philosophy, right? We're talking about our actions, our memories, and everything in our lives run by action and memory, which we call karma. So as long as our life is controlled by negative karma, meaning through this, attachment, anger, jealousy, ignorance, whatever, then we are not free from suffering. Basically, Shantideva is saying. But when you achieve enlightenment, which is not contaminated by karma and all these, actions and memories. It's the experience of the true reality. As Milarepa said, now I have the realization of what he said is deathlessness. And therefore I'm free from fear of death. So it's the pure life without any kind of negative karma. And until then, karma follows us. It's like, as I said, it's like a shadow. That's why Shantideva talks about here in this stanza karma and impermanent over and over and over again. You may think, oh, this chapter in the second stanza is always talk about karma, impermanence, attachment, nothing else. But there is a reason, you know. So when you practice bodhicitta, you can purify all of this, basically purify your mind. Now the next 38th stanza. Terter dagna lowerihi daggi tokper majirvi tamuk chagdan herdangi dikpa nambatamahi. In such a way, not realizing that I will pass suddenly, I have committed various negative deeds out of ignorance, attachment, and aggression. So this stanza talks about how we are not understanding impermanence of life and negative karma we create due to ignorance, attachment, and aggression. So therefore, we have to, it says we have committed different kinds of negative deeds, right? So we don't, because the ignorance, attachment, and aggression, so we have committed different kinds of negative actions and harmed others, harmed ourselves, our pure mind, right? And in order to eliminate suffering in these and future lives, we must understand practice of impermanence of life. From my own experience of practicing the impermanence of life, it brings me satisfaction. It brings me inner peace, happiness. When I think about impermanence of life, try to sort of think about it in a different level. It makes my mind clear, makes my mind relaxed because, I say to myself, I don't know how much time I have, but at this moment, today, I'm very fortunate. I have everything that I need. So enjoy as much as I can. Practice, meditation, as much as I can every day. So I appreciate my life more when I think about the impermanence of life in deeper level, because it will not last forever, right? And I have good life. So when I think about these things, it makes my mind, relax and clear, and it takes away all my unhappiness if there, something that makes me upset or whatever. So it really sort of takes away all my unhappiness. It really does. And it also helps me develop a sort of deeper understanding of my life and allows me to navigate my life with bodhicitta, with kindness towards others. So this practice helps us to reduce attachment and dissatisfaction. That's why Shantideva talks in different ways, all these stanzas, but the main teaching, the point is the how to practice impermanence of life in attachment. detachment. So impermanence teaches us that change is a natural and inevitable part of our life, part of existence, and this acceptance can really help us with difficult situations, like, you know, for example, like lose or disappointment or change or whatever, because we understand that these experiences are just temporary and will eventually go away. That's why I appreciate sort of the impermanence of life. If everything is permanent, it will be very difficult. So when you realize life is impermanent, you appreciate more this present moment. And you come to value more sort of your experience, like, in a daily life, like your relationships, your opportunities, your life, etc. So you become more willing to let go of past your mistakes and attachment that no longer good for you. When I think about sort of and practice impermanence of life, why people keep all these past things that past. I mean, people, we all accept Buddha, even bodhisattvas. We all make mistakes. That's totally fine. But why you not try to let it go? It's just past. So by recognizing the impermanence of life through analytical meditation. So most, when you practice impermanence of life, it's just you have to think, you have to investigate. It's called analytical meditation, and with sort of mindful observation, you can really learn to let go of negative emotions, dissatisfaction, and you can move towards to greater peace and contentment, satisfaction. And more importantly, impermanence can reduce, as I said, the fear of death, because you understand death is a natural part of the cycle of life. We can't change that, but we can change the fear of death. Within Buddhism, death is a natural part of the ongoing sort of process of life. So the goal is not to fear or resist death, but to recognize it's impermanent and use that awareness to live with great wisdom, compassion, and mindfulness. That's why impermanence is one of the most important practice in Buddhism. Believe me, it brings all these things, all these good qualities, all these good things into your life if you practice impermanence of life. Through practicing the impermanence of life, you become more aware of your thoughts, emotions, your actions, and it encourages positive actions, have healthy relationships, and a sense of responsibility towards others. So Shantideva says here, in such a way, not realizing that I will pass suddenly. I have committed various negative deeds out of ignorant attachment and aggression. This is because we don't have good understanding of the impermanence of life. Of course, we understand it intellectually, but I'm not saying that, but not in deeper level. That's a problem. As Dr. Rinpoche said, that to know whether or not you are aware of the impermanence of life, check yourself. Check if your plans are long or short. When we check our life, we have many sort of long plans, right? Probably we have plans for 100 years, right? I mean, it's really good. I'm not saying that we should not have any plan, but what Shantideva says here is that we don't know how much time we have. And without knowing that, we make long plans for our lives with negative actions out of ignorance, attachment, and aggression that is very harmful for us and for others. So what Bapta Rinpoche said is, he said, don't make that kind of plans for our lives. You can make plans for 100 years, but don't make that plan out of ignorance, attachment, and aggression because it's harmful. You can make a long plan based on bodhicitta, how to help others. I need to be very healthy because if I have a long life, I can help out. You can make that kind of plan, 100 years, 200 years. It's wonderful. But don't make that kind of plan out of control, like all these negative afflictions, ignorance, attachment, these three poisons. But unfortunately, this is why we are suffering. We just don't know how to make our life meaningful and enjoyable. So just think about that. And then the 39th stanza. Nyamsan dopa yome par tsend tak du kunjar hao. No pa kunmi yome na daktan chivar chi manjar. Okay, it says, remain in neither day nor night. Nyamsan. This life is constantly declining. Having declined, there is no way life can be extended. Why would death not come to someone like me? Okay, this stanza it's about impermanence. This stanza is sort of a wake-up call and reminding us that time is limited. Your time is limited. Life is constantly declining with each sort of passing moment. Every second brings us closer to death. We understand that. We all know that we are going to die. We all know that everything is impermanent. So the question is, why does Shantideva talk here about impermanence of life again and again and again, over and again? It's not because we don't understand the importance of our lives. His point is recognizing the impermanence of life is an essential practice because our attachment to this life is so strong. So practicing these stanzas are great methods and can help us recognize the impermanence of life on a deeper level. That's why, right? So important. That's why Shantideva talks about impermanence of life again and again in different ways. So by deeply contemplating these stanzas, we can develop wisdom, not intellectual wisdom, but great wisdom. We can develop detachment. We can reduce clinging. That's why Shantideva encourages us to spend at least a few minutes every day thinking about the impermanence of our own life, not intellectually, but in deeper level. But not negatively, thinking about impermanence of life, not negatively, but acknowledging that every moment is precious because we have all these good opportunities. It says here, why would death not come to someone like me? As in ordinary people, we often assume death is far away. But in reality, it's unpredictable. No matter how much we wish to sort of prolong our life, once it starts to decline. So we have to understand that practicing impermanence really can lead to a greater sense of gratitude for the present moment. And by accepting that nothing lasts forever, we may become more appreciative of what we have now. In our daily life, it's so important to understand when we become attached to something, try to use these methods and release this attachment, reduce the attachment. As Shantideva says last time, like if we don't do something good right now, there will not be much time left as our life is not getting longer, but shorter every second, every minute. So we should not just think about our lives only, but we need to observe the life sort of everything, like cycle of animals and plants and everything, right? Focus on everything, reflect on everything is changing. So we have to keep these methods in our mind, this instruction so strong, so profound and grateful. Shantideva gave us these amazing instructions, and we have to keep that in our mind and then reflect on how our own life has changed over time. Our experience, our relationships, our body, our mind, etc. Reflect on that. And through these sort of good qualities, the recognition of the impermanence of life can bring us enjoyment, peace, compassion, wisdom, and also encourage us to appreciate the moments we have. So as I said, I try to think about, meditate on the impermanence of life every day, and it brings all these good things into my life and takes away my negative thoughts and unhappiness. A lot of people think that practicing the impermanence of life brings uncomfortable feelings and brings a lot of fear into their minds. If that is really true, then those people don't practice the impermanence of life correctly. Otherwise, all these good feelings, good things that I mentioned before, is the result of practicing the recognition of the impermanence of life. If you really do meditate like correctly on an impermanence of life, it will bring all these good things instead of bring uncomfortable feelings and all that. A deep understanding of the impermanence of life leads to less attachment to things, and less attachment can bring freedom and peace of mind. As in our daily life, as one of the greatest source of anxiety, depression in life comes from the fear of losing something that you are really, really attached to it, right? But with this practice, you begin to understand that lose is a natural part of your life, which really helps to reduce the fear of it. And that can lead to inner peace and a more sort of balanced life, and develop more peaceful relationship with the idea of death. So in summary, the result of practicing the impermanence of life is it encourages living with mindfulness, living with appreciating the present, this moment, and letting go of attachment, cultivating wisdom and compassion. That's the real sort of wisdom, the great wisdom. If you really meditate on the impermanence of life in deeper level, not intellectually, and then it brings all this, and that these qualities bring into your daily life, and with this great wisdom and compassion, that's what Buddhism all about. Um, okay, now I move to next, the 40th stanza. Dagna marnan duyen da nyen shi kanjin tarkur chan tok chet pai chorwa to dagni chik pi nyom jar. It says, while I am lying in my final bed, although surrounded by all my friends and family, the what it says, sensations of life ending will be experienced by me alone. This stanza is a powerful reminder at the time of death. Therefore, we have to prepare for it, right? It is true, we will experience the suffering of our death, and this experience is really personal. That's why it will be, the sensation of life ending will be experienced by me alone. But, many people find comfort and peace in having their family with them when they are dying. They are laying in their final bed, right? As it can provide sort of emotional support and a sense of connection when they die, and being surrounded by loved ones can also offer the opportunity for final conversations and expressions of love and care. And years ago I was at Laro Monastery, and 5 days before my grandma passed away, she said that she really wanted to see me before she dies because I am her favorite person in my family. So I got home one night before she died, and I talked to her ear and said, "I'm here with you." But she couldn't talk. She's almost gone, right? She was, but she was great. Uh, I would say Buddhist practitioner. She was so compassionate and a great practitioner. So I sat next to her bed, and then I recite the one of the most profound Dzogchen text into her ears. And I could see she was so happy. And then the next morning she passed, she died. But my point is, when you die, having your family or your teachers with you is very important. You feel really safe and loved and all that, because they can make you more comfortable if they know how to take care dying person. However, Shantideva's point here is you have to die alone. Your friends, family can do nothing. Only at that point, your Dharma practice, your great wisdom, your compassion, your bodhicitta will be with you. And so his point is, like, when you are in your final bed, you're dying, nobody can do anything, only your Dharma practice. Because your consciousness with you. So if you develop a good and healthy, positive consciousness, that's you. I can tell you this, generally speaking, a spiritual practitioner and an ordinary person are so different when they die. A good practitioner can focus on cultivating a peaceful and meditative state of mind, and preparation for death. And their practice include mindfulness, um, you know, meditation, mantras, prayers, which help them face death with peacefulness and with, satisfaction. Through their spiritual discipline, they have the capacity to reduce attachment to worldly desires so they can let go everything. This detachment can help them approach death with less fear and confusion. So, according to Buddhism, the idea is that this, this mental clarity and peaceful mind at the time of death can influence their next life. On the other hand, an ordinary person may not have spent time preparing for death spiritually, so their mental state at the time of death may be filled with fear, attachment, confusion, so on and so forth. So they have a strong attachment to their family, their possessions, the relationships, which can lead to fear and regret at the time of death. They might go through the dying process unconsciously. They might confused about after death. Sometimes they believe something after death. Sometimes they don't know. They don't. But they're just confused. So the difference is that practitioner, through their spiritual practice, prepares for their death mentally and cultivates sort of mental clarity and detachment. So potentially influencing their experience of death. An ordinary person may not have this same preparation and could face death with more confusion, attachment, and potentially leading to a less peace and more worries and suffering. So I think it's important to practice and prepare for it because our time is limited and we never know. So therefore, every single day practice, meditating on the impermanence of life, bodhicitta, then no matter what, we will be very happy and satisfied with satisfaction. So if we ignore the truth of death, we might find ourselves in the kind of panic that we must face alone with, which Shantideva describes here, right? Even though, like, surrounded by all your friends and your families, but this sensation of life ending, this experience, you're going to experience just to you alone. Okay, so that's all these stanzas are about. Impermanence of life, how to practice detachment, and about death. Now we're going to meditate a little bit. So this is one of like I will guide you, how to practice, how to meditate on impermanence of life. There are many ways you can practice impermanence in good way in your daily life, but meditating, as I said, on an impermanence is a powerful practice that helps cultivate the wisdom. Because of that, we can reduce attachment. That's the point. That's the essence of this practice. So, as usual, you have to sit comfortable, meditation posture when you meditate on impermanence. This is, as I said, like analytical meditation, not like rest, right? You relax, you rest, you're not thinking anything. But this is, you have to sort of like, that's why you have this sage Shantideva said, when you practice impermanence of life, you're cultivating, like you're developing your wisdom, right? But in order to meditate on impermanence of life, first you have to, as a beginner, comfortable meditation posture and take a sort of few deep inhale, exhale, like deep breaths. That helps allow sort of your body, your mind to relax. At the same time, when you meditate, check your thoughts, send your love to everyone, to, the whole world. And then begin by appreciating the simple fact that you are alive in this moment. And like silently say to yourself, I am so grateful to be alive at this moment, today. And then appreciate the opportunities you have right now, such as, think about your precious life, the ability to meditate, your wisdom, your education, your freedom, your work, all this great things in your life. You have to recognize all these opportunities you have right now. Think all this sort of and go through with sort of like appreciation. You appreciate this precious life with freedom, with wisdom. And then also it's important to, bring attention to the small things you always like to do in your daily life, such as you might like, relaxing, like the relaxation with cup of tea, cup of coffee. You stay home, you look at the window, see the natural, this, you know, beautiful snow, sunlight. You just love that kind of things. You might love that. Think about those, right? You might like that, with your relaxation, listen the sounds of birds, or you do, like walk in the beautiful nature, or having a sort of beautiful conversations with your family, with your good friends, or whatever you do in your daily life, like whatever you like, instead of complaining, sadness, frustrations, all this. Just get rid of that and bring all this attention to even these small things you do in your daily life. Like you enjoy, all that, as I mentioned here. You just to focus on that and appreciate that, and you have all these opportunities, and you're, you enjoy, whatever makes you um, happy. I'm not talking about like you're making the plans for tomorrow, for after day after, not like that. Every single day, what do you do every single day? Maybe like you like meditate, whatever, just to focus on that kind of thing and just appreciate with gratitude. So important. And then allow yourself to feel gratitude for those small things, right? And beautiful moments that bring you great joy, relaxation, and peace without attachment, but with a deep sort of appreciation. No attachment. Oh, I love conversation with my family, my friend. I had that. Now I'm going to do that tomorrow. That's attachment. Just whatever happened, just to enjoy, right? With appreciation. You feel yourself, like allow yourself to feel gratitude for these small things, beautiful moments in your life, and then appreciate all that. Just little things that makes you really happy, enjoy, bring peace, relaxation, all this, just recognize and appreciate, and then be present moment. Meditate on like that, impermanent. And then allow yourself to deeply sort of appreciate this everyday blessings in your life. You just meditate on that, with recognition, deep appreciation without attachment. Meditate on that. This is how you meditate on um, impermanence of life. Then, once you appreciate with all this, like you feel this sort of gratitude and appreciation in your mind, Then let go of sort of specific thoughts and then just simply rest in the feeling of appreciation and contentment. Meditate on like that. And then bring to mind the people who have supported, who loved, or who inspires you, whoever, your family, your friend, your teachers, who have shown sort of kindness, and silently sort of say thank you to those people in your heart and feel appreciation for their presence in your life. Instead of, oh, I don't like this person, I don't like this environment, I don't like this, I hate this. Not like that. Everything is just beautiful. With love, with compassion, with bodhicitta. And especially your parents, like they give you such this beautiful human life, precious life. Your good friends, everybody. Appreciate everyone. And then sort of reflect on just to let go everything that, and then you reflect on the experience that have changed you, meaning like make you a now sort of better person. Now you have more wisdom, education, you know how to meditate. Now you have lots of bodhicitta, compassion, all that. Now you are a better person than few years ago. Instead of, oh, I am a bad person. I don't trust myself. Nobody liked me. They think I am a bad people person. Not like that. Recognize that you are better. You have more kindness, more bodhicitta. So appreciate yourself, recognize that. Meditate on that, sort of think, and this is what we call analytical meditation. And then just let go everything, just to relax. And then reflect on how everything in nature is constantly changing. For example, the time, your um, whatever your possessions, all these appearances, everything, all these seasons, all these trees, all this, everything is constantly changing. None of them are permanent. Every day is different. And then like think about inner, so like consider your thoughts, your emotions, how they arise and how they pass away constantly. Everything is changed like quickly, especially like about your thoughts, your emotions, your energies. Everything is like constantly changing. And then, as Shantideva said, remind yourself that sooner or later your life is going to end. Don't be afraid of it, but use it as a motivation to live meaningfully, to cultivate kindness and focus on what truly matters. If I allow few days, a month, what is the point? Think about, how to live a meaningful life. Focus on what really truly matters. Then you make a commitment right there. I will do this. I will create this in my mind positively. So think about that. And then after contemplating impermanence of life like this, with appreciation, gratitude, love, compassion, and then you let go of analysis and just rest in the present moment and simply be with the flow of change, with acceptance, rather than like, oh, I'm going to lose this. I love this. That's attachment. Just rest in the present moment. Let go of all this analysis about impermanence of life. Let your body, let your mind just relax. You feel, if you do this peacefulness in your mind, around you, everything, if you do this kind of meditation. Okay? Then the most important is bringing this sort of impermanence meditation into everyday life is key. For example, when a strong emotion arises, like anger, attachment, jealousy, whatever, Remind yourself that it will pass, it will change, and try to sort of release your frustrations instead of holding on to them. That's the key. That's the point of meditating on impermanence of life. Otherwise, like when you meditate for 10 minutes, 20 minutes, this kind of with, your appreciation, peaceful, all these things you do. But then once you're done and your daily activities, then you bring all this attachment, jealousy, frustration, all this. What is the point? So you have to bring that. You have to navigate, you have to integrate, all this meditation, impermanence of meditation, bring that into your everyday life, and cultivate sort of gratitude by understanding the temporary sort of nature of life. So if you do this all the time, then you go deeper and deeper, and the more you go down deeper and deeper, the more you develop your wisdom, clarity, um, reduce attachment, confusion, bring your mind like peace, happiness, satisfaction, all that. Okay? So that's all. That's how you meditate. That's how you practice impermanence. One way. There are many ways you can meditate, right? Impermanence of life. But today, I think that's enough.